Hello everybody and welcome back to Will, A Wonderful World for episode 13. Now if you start to hear something that sounds like a jet engine in the background, that is just a washing machine outside my bedroom door that gets a little loud sometimes and kind of sounds like a plane fucking taking off. Anyways, at the end of the last episode we got a really fucked up letter from Park Sang-gun and a relatively okay letter from Chang Yangmin. I really don't want to do Park's letter, but I want to make his situation better, so I'm going to. I believe I'm just going to start from Chang here. Oh, I guess really with both of them at the same time. The only thing I can imagine to... to make things better for Park would be if he didn't turn and he just pulled the trigger and killed Dr. Lee. No! Oh, fuck, no, yes, okay. Yes, it would be good for him to kill the guy, but then his situation would probably be even more fucked. But if he doesn't kill the guy, then, I mean, he's not, I don't know, god damn, this is just so bad, because he got, oh god, I can't decide what I want to do. I'm just gonna try this, see what happens. I know it's gonna change their stories, but I'm curious as to what it's going to change and how it's going to change. 3. I pointed the gun at Lieutenant Kang. Was there really no other way? 2. Lieutenant Kang saw me pointing the gun at him. He didn't look like he blamed me. He seemed to be telling me with his eyes, I trust you. But I couldn't trust myself. 1. Huge drops of sweat were rolling down my face. No. I couldn't make it. I gave up. So things didn't get better for him. The officer's head exploded right in front of my eyes. Then the gun barrel turned to me, with the sliver of smoke still coming out of it. Choi pulled the trigger. The bullet hit me and knocked me over, onto the ground. King Bak-ya, how does it feel to watch your men die in front of you, huh? I felt my eyelids getting heavier and heavier. I couldn't see the expression on Lieutenant Kang's face. The voice of Choi mocking and taunting the lieutenant was getting farther and farther away, too. So he died. Okay. Things went well. I think... I mean, I'm rooting for Park because he killed the guy, I'm assuming, but his situation's gonna get so much more fucked. An enormous noise, louder than anything I had ever heard, exploded from the gun. My entire arm felt numb after the shock, but I was still holding it in my hand. Then I felt something warm and red dripping on my chest. Dr. Lee was still smiling, but there was a hole in the middle of his forehead. Good fucking aim. Oh my god. I pushed him away and sat back up. He fell on the floor with his face up. Oh god, he's... okay. He still had a heart on. Why do you know what that is, Park? Why do you know what that is? All of a sudden, there seemed to be a lot of people hanging out in the hallway outside. I could hear footsteps, conversations, even screams. Shut up. I came down from the desk and walked to the mirror with my ears covered. My body still looked pale in the moonlight, but now there were some red stripes on it. It reminded me of the warriors that I had seen in the movies. In Russia, did people paint themselves with red stripes too? I don't think so, kid. Oh, but things went a lot better for him. Oh gosh, I really did. Hang on one sec. I'm going to... oh gosh, things aren't gonna be good for Park, but things are gonna be good for Chang. How do I don't understand. I pointed my gun at Choi Yo-han. I tried my best to aim at his forehead. Could I make the shot? 2? The officer looked at me calmly. He seemed to be telling me with his eyes, I trust you. But I couldn't trust myself. 1. Huge drops of sweat were rolling down my face when I pulled the trigger. The bullet flew out of the barrel and hit the officer's head. Dang it! And it exploded right in front of my eyes. Aren't you a funny kid? Why don't you consider joining us? Choi Yo-han mocked me with his jokes and turned the gun to me, still paralyzed in shock. He pulled the trigger. Kang Bak Ya, how does it? Okay. So he still dies. God damn it, I'm gonna have to fucking blur this again. God damn it, I really... Why do they keep bringing this fucking picture up? I don't want to see this shit. If I killed him, I would become a murderer. Yes, but it'd be fucking justified. Where would I be able to run if I became a murderer? I put down the gun. Tears of shame and... oh god, streamed down my face. I decided I would survive all this. And then I swore to myself that I would find another chance. I swore. I didn't turn my head and I didn't close my eyes. God. What? I wanted to burn his evil face into my memory. Why? Along with the man who sold me for money. What you had done to me. One day, I will pay you back. Plus extra. Fucking good on you, kid. God damn it. I'm hoping that this is gonna... that literally just making Chang turn to the right and then pull the trigger will somehow save that officer's life. I don't know. Things aren't going to change for Park, but he got a rank S ending. I don't understand how, because his situation is still fucked. I pointed the gun at Lieutenant Kang. Wait. What? No. No. Choi Yo-han was not easy to fool. I had to choose the lieutenant in order to save the officer. As long as I didn't hit any critical spots, the lieutenant would be okay. Oh! That's a good idea, but he's gonna be mad at you. I could also stall for a little bit longer. 2. Lieutenant Kang saw me pointing the gun at him. He didn't look like he blamed me. I could see that he had understood that it was my plan to stall. 1. Huge drops of sweat were rolling down my face when I pulled the trigger. The bullet flew out of the barrel towards Lieutenant Kang and hit the man lying behind him. Hell yeah! The lackey in the pink striped shirt grunted and everything went quiet again. As expected, my terrible shooting had just made things worse. How dare you try to trick me? Let me show you the consequences. Choi Yo-han pulled the trigger with his finger. Well, I mean, how else would he be pulling the trigger? The officer's head exploded right in front of my eyes. Okay, so he still got shot. What? What? Okay. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to change, but nothing's going to change for Park, so he's still going to have that rank bullshit ending. I pointed the gun at Lieutenant Kang. Choi Yo-han was not easy to fool. I had to choose the lieutenant in order to save the officer. As long as I didn't hit any critical spots, the lieutenant would be okay. I could also stall for a little bit longer as my voice cracks. My hands were shaking like never before. Oh, now his hand's actually shaking here. That's pretty cool. It reminded me of the only time that I had ever hit inside the target. It was a very windy day and I was wearing nothing but a tank top, so I had been trembling because of the cold. Now that I was shaking so hard, maybe there would be another miracle. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking by having the leaving the hand shaking over on your side and nothing on Park's side. 2. Lieutenant Kang saw me pointing the gun at him. He didn't look like he blamed me. I could see that he understood that it was my plan to stall, but he didn't know that I was an extremely lousy shot. But that's good, because in the last one, or the last outcome rather, whenever you were trying to shoot him, you missed. So maybe now that your hands are shaky, that you'll hit him? 1. Huge drops of sweat were rolling down my face when I pulled the trigger. The bullet flew out of the barrel and hit Lieutenant Kang in his left arm. I made it. I actually made the shot. However, Choi Yo-han was obviously not satisfied with the result. Kid, are you really such a terrible shot, or are you just trying to fool me? Okay, he moved his gun from the officer's temple and pointed it at his back. Bang, a red hole appeared in his stomach. The officer's face turned pale, but he didn't even wince a little. trying not to worry us. What a man he was. Oh well, I'm also a pretty nice guy. How about I give you another chance? This time, aim at the head. See, right here. He poked his gun at the officer's temple while laughing like a maniac. My anger was boiling inside me. I couldn't listen to any more bullshit coming out of the butterface of that bastard. But what could I do? No matter how fast I could possibly move, I couldn't be faster than a bullet. A shadow leapt past me from behind while I was still trying to think. A splash of blood spilled to the floor, inside of my shadow cast by the dim lights. A gun was sticking out of Choi Johan's mouth. What? No, it was barely a mouth anymore. Barf. Choi's body was falling to the ground at the same speed as my vomit. Lieutenant Kang took the gun out of Choi's hand. There was no warmth in his eyes, and he looked like someone else completely. The will to kill was radiating from him. The will to kill every single living thing in sight, even those who had already been incapacitated. A minute later, those who had passed out in the warehouse would never wake up again. The officer was lying next to Choi Johan's body, still bleeding. I couldn't tell if he was still breathing. Lieutenant Kang's eyes then turned to the only remaining person alive in the warehouse. He looked into my eyes. Then he raised his gun. But he didn't shoot? I don't know. But either way, rank S ending for both of them. And we got new letters. I will come back, I believe, probably after these new letters. Ooh, a new one for Spotty. I thought we were done, but we got a branching path here. That's probably what's going to happen with some other people. Ooh, no, we had already been off on the branching path, and now we're back on the regular path. Still don't understand how that plays into alternate timelines or something. I have no idea on that. But like I said, I will come back to Rocky and Lee Win in just a little bit. But we're going to get these over real quick. It was the middle of the night. The full moon was high up in the sky. A group of cats were gathering at the empty lot near the street. They were both house cats and stray cats. They formed a circle around a big empty pie in the center of the lot. On top of the pipe, that's my bad. On top of the pipe sat a fat black cat. He was giving his usual speech. It was unsurprisingly about how animals like pet dogs and about how animals like pet dogs. Wait, what? Or how? Oh my God! How did I read that wrong? It was unsurprisingly about how humans like pet dogs and what we should do to make the humans like us more. Those two-legged walking monkeys only considered dogs to be smarter than cats because the dogs would fetch newspapers for them. But the truth was the opposite. Why should we bother to beg for the stupid humans who couldn't even tell that cats were smarter than dogs to like us? I turned the dead sparrow in front of me around, making sure that there was nothing edible left. You turned it around? What? That doesn't make any sense, but okay. No matter how many times I had tried it, the taste of the organs was still disgusting to me. Yuck. I puked out a puddle of yellow liquid. A couple of house cats nearby sprinted away from me. Pff, pussies. Blackie, the fat black cat, kept rambling on with his boring and pointless speech. I was picking my teeth with my claws. Suddenly, I felt a chill in the air. It was already late autumn. Soon, it would be the worst season for us stray cats. I was 1 year old now, almost 20 in human years, so I was fairly strong. Still, lots of homeless cats died at my age. Instead of wasting my time figuring out how to please those monkeys, I'd rather be preparing for the winter. That pipe seemed like a good place to use as shelter. I walked towards Blackie and jumped up to the pipe. Every shining eye stared at me, including Blackie's. He completely forgot what he was talking about. Excuse me, may I lay down here for a bit? You may keep going. You thought I would say that? Pfft. Winner takes all, loser loses it all. And I, Spotty, wanted it all. I stared at Blackie and puffed up my fur. That's right. Overwhelming my opponent was the way to do it. He raised the dried, salted fish. I spit on his face. Blackie was surprised by my spit, but he immediately swung the salted fish and hit my face with it. They're having a fucking fish fight. Oh my god. This enormous piece of dried salted fish represented unquestionable authority. Totally. Whoever had the dried salted fish was the leader of the cats. Okay. Okay, Spotty. Furthermore, whoever was attacked by the dried salted fish, which right now meant me, would be considered the public enemy of the entire cat clan. A dozen cats sprung at me, biting my ears, clawing my paws, and stepping on my back. Humans had a saying, 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. And I was facing 40 claws. I don't think I've ever heard that saying before. I wonder exactly what that means. 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. I have no idea, but okay. Ouch, ouch, ouchie. Spotty. Great way to end that letter, Spotty. Alright, Chang. The warehouse now looked like a scene from hell, with bodies lying all over the ground. Lieutenant King's eyes were colder than ice. He looked nothing like himself anymore. He turned around slowly and stared at me as if I was only a bug. What had just happened? Was he pulling a prank on me? But he looked dead serious when he killed Choi Yo-han with 1 blow. Or rather, was this some kind of initiation test? A test that I had to pass to become an official member of Unit 4. Okay, I'm gonna have to fucking pause because this goddamn thing is so fucking loud. Okay, it finally died off. Let's continue here. I did notice while I was sitting here waiting for the washing machine to die down, Chang's got his little Assassin's Creed grappling hook blade fucking thing out, so I'm assuming he's about to try and attack Kang for whatever reason. My brain was still completely disoriented, my body jumped backward by instinct. There was nothing left in the lieutenant's stare, except deadly menace. It was no prank, nor a test. Well, I mean, you did shoot him in the arm, to be fair, and he kind of looks like a mixture of the main character from Yu Yu Hakusho and L from fucking Death Note. Couldn't remember the name of that. I could feel that what was standing in front of me at this moment was not a normal human, but a dangerous beast. It was waiting for me to expose my vulnerability so that he could lunge at me and tear out my throat. We were both standing dead still. We were both staring deep into each other's eyes, and we were both thinking of the best ways to prevail. I didn't have enough confidence. Even at the Shaolin Temple, I had never faced an opponent like this before. How old are you, Chang? Unless he grew up at the temple, I don't know. Nevertheless, I began to feel something, perhaps because of my training at the temple. I was feeling nothing but growing excitement, and I was eager to give it my all in this fight. It was almost as if I had been waiting for this day my whole life. It would not do me any good if we kept stalling like this. I decided to at least poke my opponent first. Poke? What? In the world of Kung Fu, speed defines the winner. Time to fight. He raised the gun. I flung my tail out as hard as I could, which is the Assassin's Creed whip fucking thing. I took a shot and flung my tail out from my sleeve. The spearhead cut through the air with a shimmer, aimed at Lieutenant Kang's right hand, which was holding his gun. But it stopped right before the lieutenant. You should know the distance before you try and attack. Lieutenant Kang's left hand clenched into a fist, and he slowly lowered it. He was holding my tail firmly in his hand, despite having been cut by the spear tip. Blood was dripping down from his wrist. Behind his fist, his eyes were staring at me with nothing but contempt. No one had been able to stop my tail with their bare hands before. At this point, I had no choice but to drop my weapon. But Lieutenant Kang had finally seen his chance. He sprinted at me, still holding my tail in his left hand and the gun in his right. Then I heard a gunshot, before I sank into an infinite darkness, filled with nothing but regret. A few weeks later, I woke up in the ICU of Busan Metropolitan Hospital. I was incredibly lucky to survive the shot to my head. Holy shit. Yeah. However, the bullet was lodged inside my skull at a delicate spot, so the doctors could not take it out. As a result, I had to endure occasional migraines for the rest of my life. I mean, at least they're not like cluster migraines or something. Like it could be worse, Chang, is what I'm trying to say. With my health condition, I thought that I would be reassigned to some boring post, like the archives. But I didn't expect that they would ask me to resign. The police paid me a lot of money as compensation, but that was not what I had wanted. I wanted to be a police officer. How could everything turn out like this? Chang Yongmin. I don't know, Chang, but I'm gonna change things up for you. A piece of dried fish and a gun. I think I could come up with something funny here. Yeah, I was just about to say something. But can I really just switch them like this? How could a cat be holding a gun? Of course, that's what our power is. No matter what, events will unfold exactly according to your arrangement of the text. That's... Okay. Let's go with that. Even if it's something ridiculous or even supernatural, it is still within the realm of the reasonable for us. Okay, yeah, when you put it like that, it makes sense. I mean, you kind of are gods. To be fair. This is how we were able to help Jimmy's class win the relay race. I guess? But nothing supernatural or anything like that happened. We just changed the order of events. But we were doing that with everything else already. So that's nothing new. All we did was switch Jimmy from the last leg to the third leg, remember? Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We just switched the events around. We didn't... Nothing supernatural, what the fuck? As long as the internal logic of the story is not self-contradictory, there won't be any problems. In this case, what kind of logic shall we consider self-contradictory? For example, earlier we discussed that after someone fainted or even died, he or she would not be able to perform additional actions anymore. Therefore, any additional actions after a piece where the subject passes out or worse would automatically disappear. Okay, I think I got it. I'm gonna literally just switch everything around. I don't know how this is, let's see. I'm fucking curious as shit as to what exactly is about to go down. I slammed my tail on the pipe. Bang. It was my battle cry. Blackie was in shock. This was probably the first time any cat had ever challenged him. He nervously pulled the trigger. Wait, why did he have a... Yeah. Bang. An enormous sound echoed across the lot. A few windows in the nearby neighborhood lit up. The cats scattered as fast as they could, including Blackie. Only I was still sitting on top of the pipe in the empty lot, and my urine was dripping down from the pipe. In any case, this is my territory now. What? My spit flew into his eyes and temporarily blinded him. I thought I had the upper hand, but Lieutenant Kang swiftly took a swing at me with his right hand, based on nothing but his hearing. He wasn't an easy opponent, that was for sure. A dried salted fish flew out of his right hand, charging towards me like a flash of light. Wait, a salted fish? I quickly moved aside and dodged it. Thank goodness it was just a dried salted fish. Well, now that you have missed your chance, it is my turn. I stomped on the ground and sprinted forward. I tightened my back muscles and rotated my shoulder, then swung my arm with my shoulder. Thank you. And finally punched him with my fist. Attack number 3, Thunderbolt Punch. What are you, a fucking superhero? I hit Lieutenant Kang straight in his chest. He flew backward and slammed into a pillar. Finally, I could tell that he would be dreaming about Buddha for a while. I wiped the sweat off my face and let out a long breath. I had avoided hitting the lieutenant's critical spots with a punch earlier, so he should be okay. You're not a superhero, man. You're not, like, from a video game. I mean, shh, don't break the fourth wall, but anyways. But what kind of person was he? I never realized that I I'm gonna reread that. I never realized that I would witness not one, but two masters in the Busan police precinct today. The custodian from the armory and Lieutenant Kang. How interesting. I supposed it wouldn't be too bad to stay in Unit 4 then. I would love to spar with the lieutenant in the future. I guess it changed it to a lighthearted battle at this point. Like, just sparring, as he stated here. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, we got another letter. Singular. 1200cc for good old Chang here. Assuming that's got something to do with a motorbike. I will do that letter, and then I will come back to Rocky and Lee Wen. I'm still not sure why Rocky's is white. Very interesting. Port of Busan, near Warehouse 23. About 40 people were there, lying, standing, running. The fishermen who were up early for work had gathered around when they realized that something big had happened. The reporters who had heard some tips were huddling with them, hoping to catch any newsworthy material that could make a career. But the only two people who knew what had happened had already left the scene. The ambulance was traveling as fast as it could while trying to remain steady. Lieutenant Kang was lying on the seat opposite me. He was still unconscious. The medic said that he was basically asleep, and that there was no need to worry. I wasn't surprised. After all, I had intentionally avoided his critical spots earlier. Maybe after the nap, he would be even more relaxed. Tired. I felt so tired. First, I had to knock out a mob of gangsters. Then, I had been threatened by Choi Yo-han. And then, I still had to fight the lieutenant. Sounds like a video game. I hadn't slept the whole night. Still, I had so many questions in the back or in my head that I couldn't rest at all. Why would Lieutenant Kang attack me? And how had he become so strong, like another person completely? What kind of secrets had the lieutenant been hiding? Furthermore, this bald-headed, muscular man who was lying between us due to lots of blood. Who was he? Considering the situation with the lieutenant, I began to find this big man suspicious too. I quietly took a syringe from a tray near us and hid it, just in case one of them suddenly woke up and tried to stab me with it like a maniac. Why? I don't think they would. But, okay. His veins. The medic mumbled something while trying to give the big man an IV. Suddenly, the ambulance took a sharp left turn and the driver slammed on the brakes to slow down. I heard a few curses from the driver's seat. The ambulance started again, and we noticed that the needle had slashed the muscular man, and that there was a deep cut in his arm. Oh, damn. Strangely, though, there was no blood coming out of the cut at all. Wait, what? What? Transfiguration. I'm assuming prosthetic? After the Cold War ended, there were still plenty of active undercover spies and intelligence agents in both the US and Russia. Transfiguration at the time was the main technique adopted by spies to lose someone on their tail. Wait. What? Transfiguration includes more than just changing looks. Changing the color of the outfit, putting sand in the shoes to alter the gait, are all common tricks to help reinforce the disguise and fool a less experienced counterintelligence officer. In 2014, the Russian counterintelligence agency uncovered over 290 foreign spies on Russian soil. Holy shit. Just 2014 alone, or by 2014? Okay. However, being exposed did not necessarily mean that one would be arraigned or arrested. Both the Russians and the Americans have similar approaches when dealing with such situations, through the exchanging of captives through diplomatic channels or simply deporting the apprehended agents. So what the fuck is transfiguration? I stared at the red operating sign in the ER. ER. God damn it, I cannot speak today. I was trying to remember the documentaries about transfiguration that I had seen in the police academy. So I'm assuming maybe he had, he wasn't as buff or whatever as he seemed, because he had on some sort of prosthetic or latex covering on his arms or something to make himself look thicker. I don't know. That is weird. Transfiguration was a skill that not only could change one's looks, but even one's figure. Transfiguration could wear a disguise that was good enough to fool anyone farther than 20 centimeters away. This was my first time ever witnessing it at such a close distance. It was so shockingly real. The bodysuit had different thickness in different areas. Yep, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. The thicker parts perfectly resembled the texture of bulging muscles. The suit was also completely skin tight once put on a person, leaving no gaps between the suit and the wearer's skin, preventing people from sensing anything unnatural by contact. It was very difficult to replicate the texture of real skin on the suit, though. Most people who wore it to transfigure themselves would be exposed when people touched their skin. However, this female senior officer, with a perfect body, was brave enough and skilled enough to go undercover in a violent gang, all while pretending to be a shirtless meathead. She must have had a really gruff voice, because this was a dude that she was portraying. Huh, interesting. It simply meant that she must be a master among masters in transfiguration. Yeah, yeah. The people in Unit 4 were practically superheroes. I took out a pack of tissues from my pocket and calmly wiped off the blood coming out of my nose. Not only was this the first time seeing somebody using transfiguration, it was also my first time seeing a naked, gorgeous woman like this. Lieutenant Kang had told me before that Officer Ji Yeon had never attended the police academy, so she was even younger than me. Well, you already knew her? But if she's been undercover for a long time, how did you know her? What? I'm confused. More importantly, she also had a full head of shining, long, and straight black hair. She was essentially a goddess for my dreams. From now on, I would be able to spend time with a senior officer like this every day. I, Chang Yong-min, could die a happy man any time now. Someone had just come out of the operating room. It was a young nurse. She ran towards me as I was the only person in the hallway. "Are you a family member of the patient?" I nodded my head, shook it, and nodded again. "She has lost too much blood. We need at least 1200 cc more." Okay, not a motorcycle then. For a transfusion, but we're running out of blood. There haven't been any donations, or there haven't been enough donations recently. Our blood bank doesn't have enough blood of her type in storage. We're also having a shortage of another type too. I think it is... Oh, right, it was type A. What is Officer Jeon's blood type? Type O. What was my blood type again? I remembered I had checked it before. Let me think. Yes, it was type A. Lieutenant Kang, who had been asleep since we got to the hospital, was suddenly standing behind me. "Mine is type B." The nurse looked sympathetic. "I'm sorry, but neither of your blood types is a match. I'll have to go call another hospital. I hope it's not too late." Am I literally about to change their fucking blood types? Holy shit. That's some definitely god level shit. A few minutes after she had hurried away, the sign went off. The doctor slowly pushed open the door to the operating room. Everything seemed to be moving in slow motion, and the door looked like it was as heavy as a mountain. "I'm so sorry." I held my head in my hands, staring at the floor. I couldn't breathe. It was all because of my little trick. If I hadn't shot her, if only I were a better police officer, she would still be alive. But you didn't shoot her, what? He did not shoot her. Choi Yo-han shot her. What? I'm okay. Chang Yong-min, you weren't the one that shot her though, Chang. Okay. 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 So I'm gonna make Lieutenant Kang's blood type O. We're also having a shortage of another type too. I think okay, we're having a shortage of type B. Her blood type is type A, and Chang's blood type is type A. There we go. Very, 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 very good. Very, very nice. Great. Both of your blood types are a match. Wait, both of ours? Oh, O is a universal donor. I forgot about that. We'll take 400cc from each of you, plus the last 400cc of type O blood in our storage, and it should be enough. But wait, I put B in storage. Or did I put O in storage? I don't... What? I'll draw blood from you both immediately. I thought I put the B in storage, but okay. She gently pushed a needle into my arm. I watched as my blood slowly filled a bag, thinking about how it was going to save her life. You've been in my unit for a while now. I never had the chance to tell you something. Lieutenant Kang, who had his blood drawn earlier, leaned on the long bench next to me and spoke to me. Considering what I had accomplished today, was he going to reward me with something? To tell me something, could it be... You are very good? You're the best new recruit I've ever seen? Unit 4 is so lucky to have you? I just couldn't stop my imagination. He took out a cigarette and put it in his mouth. But then he must have realized that he couldn't smoke here, so he took it out and put it back into the pack. Never be late again. If you are, I'll have you transferred. Alright. I got a rank S ending right away, and I believe I'm gonna... Oh! A new letter. I did not expect to get... Oh. 2 new letters. One for Alicia and one for... Chang again. Chang, you got a lot of letters, my man. I think Chang and Lee Wen so far are the ones with the most letters. Yep, they are. Rocky is the one with the least because he only has 1, and then Park is up next after that. I know I said I was going to come back to Rocky and Lee Wen, but this episode ran on just a little bit. Not too much, and I know it's going to take me a little bit longer to do those two. So I'm going to put those off until the next episode. But thank you guys so much for watching this one, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.